Hello. Hi, my name's Carl Krenzel, and I'm with 10 Minute Skill and the Red Pill Investor. And I'd like to thank you for this re-recording of a webinar that we had scheduled originally for earlier this afternoon. Unfortunately, the audio went completely out. And so in that open mic, you saw the microphone, I'm sorry, you saw the slides, but you didn't get to hear any of what I was saying. So in this re-recording, I'd like to share with you a little bit about today's message at the open mic. And what it was really all about was how to improve your results from prospecting. Now, in this next few minutes, what I'd like to talk with you about is a very concrete way to get more results out of the prospecting that you're doing. Now, the first thing that I would certainly recommend that you do is begin by writing out your affirmations. See, affirmations are such a huge portion of what you do and what you believe that it's critical to your success. I would start off with things like, I'm efficient. I'm efficient. I am efficient. I mean, put yourself in the position where you're saying, I'm efficient. Because efficient people, they're able to go ahead and save time. And time is the biggest thing you have, right? I would also say, you know what? I'm effective. I am effective. You see, not only are you efficient, you're quick at getting things done, but you're effective, meaning you don't have to waste a lot of movement. You only have to talk to a certain amount of people. It's not like you enjoy calling people all day long, so you're effective, right? Then we also like to think about maybe I am productive. I am productive because, there's absolutely no point in doing this business if you're not going to be productive in any way, shape, or form. I mean, why go through the hassle? Why have all the people yell at you? Why spend all the money in endless seminar after seminar if you're not going to see any return? This is a productive business. Also, you want to think about it as a profitable business. I am profitable. Yes, I love that part. I'm profitable. Why? Because why are we in this business? Of course we want to help people. But guess what? You can't help anybody if you're broke. So you gotta be profitable. So write these affirmations down. Repeat them to yourself. Heck, repeat them a couple times. Okay? When you start getting ready to do your prospecting or your lead generation, okay? I always like to think about it in the morning because the morning is when you're the most powerful, right? So go ahead and keep your mornings media free. Hey, turn the Facebook off, turn off your IMs, turn off your private messages, turn off all the things that could potentially distract you, okay? Because you want to keep all the negativity out. It is so hard to remain positive in this world. And listen, if you're thinking about every single bad thing that happened, tsunami that killed somebody, a nuclear reactor that blew up, a bomb that went off somewhere killing everybody, it is hard to stay in the right state of mind. I mean, believe me, people have enough trouble in their life. They want a ray of hope, and you have got to be the person for them. So, when you're starting to prospect, create an efficient, okay, as well as effective prospecting routine for yourself. Now, I don't know where you're coming from in life. I don't know if you have a regular job. I don't know if you have a real estate job. You're a realtor who invests. I don't know what your story is, but you want to create for yourself an efficient and effective prospecting routine based on the goals that you want to achieve. So let's say you want to achieve, I don't know, a deal a month. Let's say a deal or two a month, right? Like 2 deals. So you need to get a deal done every 2 weeks. So what do you need to do to get that done? You want to create an effective prospecting routine to focus on getting, say, those 2 deals done that month. Now, how I would begin it personally, I would wake up early every single day. Listen, you're a high performance engine. You're a top performer. If you're going to be doing this full time in an all commission or all sales type, business, that's what this is. Don't fool yourself, okay? You're not a consultant. If you're a wholesaler or if you're a realtor who's a wholesaler, you're not a consultant in this regard. Okay? You're trying to buy. And that means that you got to be in your top form. And top form means you got to train like an athlete. And you want to wake up early every day. Get some exercise. Get that blood pumping. Do a little bit of calisthenics. Get started. You want to certainly eat right. Eat the healthy thing. When I was prospecting like that 3-4 hours a day, first thing in the morning, I would just eat nothing but fruit because I wanted to maintain that high energy state. You just got to get that high energy level. And it's really hard to do when you're loaded down with all these heavy foods and, biscuits and gravy and eggs and hash browns and toast with jelly and coffee. And I love it. It's my favorite food too. But man, you cannot run on a stomach like that, and you can't perform at your highest level when you're at that level too. You want to repeat these affirmations. I'm efficient, I'm effective, I'm productive, I'm profitable, I'm efficient. Just completely start telling yourself, selling yourself on this story. You want to arrive at the office at the same time every single day. Every day that you're going to get to work, boom, you say, you know what? I'm going to be there at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6, whatever your time is. Be there every day at the same time. Create routines for yourself. Declutter your workspace and begin working. Get in there, get done. Get doing what you got to do, right? Then role play. Role play is so important. When you think about it, you want everybody in your life to do some role play. If you want them to be any kind of professional in your life, your doctor, lawyer, airplane pilot, you want them to practice. You want them to know what to do in case of emergencies. Well, how is it any different for you? Now, of course, if you don't want to practice and you don't want to role play what the scenarios in life could be, what you should say to a certain, if they say this, I'm going to say that, all those mental kung fu things that you got to do. If you don't want to do that, well, the only kind of job I can think of that doesn't really require a lot of role play practice and script practice, is like a fast food worker. So if you want to be a Burger King or a wholesaler of McDonald's kind of wholesaler, hey, knock yourself out. But for us who want to raise our game and get to the next level and be professional, we've got to role play. Next, you want to work to strengthen this link between the prospecting that you're doing, the lead generation, and the goals you've set for yourself. Holy cow, it doesn't get any more important than this. When you think about all the goals that you want to accomplish in your life, all the things you want, think about it for just a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine what it's like to have in your hand the thing that you want most. Powerful relationships, money, security, safety in the bank, whatever your thing is. Prospecting, lead generation can get that for you. But you must be sold, wrap your head around, buy into, agree, whatever metaphor you want to choose, you've got to accept that you have to work this link between these two to get what you want. You've got to prospect. You've got to generate leads. There's just no other way for you to get the goals you want without it. And the more you believe it, the stronger that you believe that, the easier it will be for you to make an appointment. Now, if you're in our coaching, in our business coaching program is one of the required programs to get to our one-on-one. We have an executive one-on-one coaching program. I don't know if you're new to me or not, but in an executive one-on-one coaching, we have another program, the business one-on-one, that the business coaching you have to go through to get there. And if you're in that coaching program, I want you to think about this. I want you to email to me a list of the 10 things that you love about prospecting. I want you to just think about it. What do you love about prospecting, about lead generation? I know when my coach challenged me to do this, I had to write down some things, and I got to be honest, I came up with the number one thing I wrote down. It's pretty stupid, really, but it was important to me. I wrote down, I love prospecting because it gives me the ability to go into any restaurant, pick up a menu, and order without looking at the price. That was important to me. I don't know why. It was just important to me. I hated the feeling of having to go into a restaurant and want a T-bone with all the great stuff on it, and oh my God, it's $75 or what. It would kill me. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I'm just saying it was for me. Just I wanted to have the ability, the choice. Up to that point, I'd never had the choice. I could never pay that amount. I'd be stupid to do that, right? But now if I wanted to, sure I could. Would I do it? Hell no. But it's nice to have a choice. For me, then you think of the 10 things that are like that. What else do you like? Well, let's see. I like being able to travel. I like being able to take my family places and not worry about the cost. I love being able to help my community and get people out of bad situations. I love prospecting because it helps me meet old people who are going to be taken advantage of by somebody else, and I get to save the day. I love prospecting. And when you write those things out, it becomes visceral. It becomes real. The real, or the worst English for you, the realer it gets, the better. That's why you want to keep this list in front of you. You want to just keep it in front of you all the time, because when you're prospecting, it doesn't get any fun sometimes. You see, you want to reflect on the positive experiences. Listen, there are a million times, I'm sure. I'm not like your average guru, coach, whatever you want to put labels on me for. I'm not the average guy. I picked up the original phone call in 1995 doing telephone slamming with a long distance company. Back in 1995, I was calling people, and then I got into real estate in 96, and I've been calling ever since, and thousands of experiences of calling I've ever had with people. I've had a lot of probably negative ones. I just don't remember them. But I do remember the very positive ones. I remember the girl who had cancer, who had to get out of their trailer, and I was able to help them, and I'm very proud of that. There was another lady who'd passed away, and the family didn't know what to do. I was able to help with that. There's just so many different things I can think of, and that's what motivates you when it's hard to keep going. Because remember, when you're prospecting, the objective here is to get appointments. That's what you're doing this for. You're not doing it so you can buy the property. You're not prospecting so you can go ahead and, have them sign a contract. You're prospecting so you can simply get an appointment. Remember, sales is a process. It's not an event. It's not like something that you just concoct when you buy water, let's say at the Circle K. You give them $1.85 or whatever water costs these days, and then boom, the transaction's over. It's not like that. Homeowners think things through. It takes time, and even though sometimes you may meet them in the moment that they're ready to make a decision, it does not mean that that's the only time they've thought of it. They've been thinking for some time. The purpose of the prospecting, the phone calls, the whatever it is you're doing to lead generate, I'm not so silly as to believe it's going to be only calls. However you got these leads, you're calling them now. Your objective is to get an appointment so you can get face to face. You can talk to them, right? Remember, I understand sometimes that feels like it doesn't work. You're calling, nobody says yes, you're calling. It's just an endless stream of no's. It's hard to remember. But when you start looking at this list of the 10 things you love about it, the things that you're going to get, the positive times when it did work, and keeping this always in your mind that, listen, I'm not here to buy the house. I'm just calling to get in the door, just to talk. That's it. Nothing big. Then it's going to be a lot easier for you to win. Next, you want to make a list to build your business by daily, efficient prospecting. Now, ideally, we're talking about the ideals again. I understand that not all of you have, 40 hours a week to devote to business, right? Some of you have jobs. So whatever schedule you've elected to go ahead and decide to put into business, let's say you're going to work because you have a regular 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday. The only times that you can really develop to this is occasionally at night when you're not too tired and on the weekends. If that's you, then what you want to do is make a list to build your business through daily efficient prospecting. Now, daily efficient prospecting. How do you do that? Well, it just remains by being aware. Using technology to your advantage, for example. You could use ifttt.com. You could use that in conjunction with Craigslist to give you a notification about hot leads that come into your area, via page. And that way you don't have to sit there and scour the Craigslist ads for the deals. They get shot straight to you. Excuse my French. Anyway, sent straight to you. And then look at that. Now you've got yourself, a lead right there on your cell phone. You just click a button, you call them. Hey, I just noticed your home came on the market on Craigslist. I'm curious about it. Tell me what's going on. Right? Whatever your script is. You want to be consistent in your prospecting, however you do it. If it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or 5 days a week, or on Saturday and on Sunday, or whatever it is, be consistent with it. You see, you're not going to win a long race, okay, in just a minute. It's a time. It takes time to do this. So you got to be consistent. If you just start running and then you stop and you take a break, you kick your feet back and you get up the track and you go and sit on the bleachers and you get back on the track and you run 2 or 3 feet and you get a cramp, you're never going to finish. For your own sake, be consistent. Be consistent to schedule the leads. Okay, when you're scheduling these leads, when you start prospecting consistently, it's going to help you find leads consistently. When you find leads consistently, then you're going to make appointments consistently. That's the idea. Next, in order for you to be successful in prospecting, the next step I would take is to determine where your business comes from so you can repeat it. You see, if you're going to do this in any way, shape, or form, you've got to determine where this business is coming from. And if you're in the business coaching program, you understand when I'm telling you about prospecting, we start talking about your centers of influence and how you've got to determine where these people are coming from so you can go ahead and repeat it. I mean, why are you spending only thousands of dollars to get leads when you have leads right in your own centers of influence? I mean, you can go back and source all the business that you've ever done. When you think about it, if you're new, it's easy. It's a super simple process. But if you've been around a while, it's not too hard. Just go back and try and source it as best you can. I mean, know where every buyer and home you sell come from. In the Red Pill, sales system, in our lead follow-up system, we talk about, using 3x5 cards to go ahead and track buyer, seller, bandit sign, where they came from, so you can find out later in the file where they came from, so you can track your business and do it again. When you think about it, when you know what's working and you know what's not working, I mean, when you look at the 3x5 card, for example, and it says, yeah, this is a bandit sign. And let's say another 3x5 card on your lead follow-up system says, this one was I don't know, an ad, let's say, and let's say another one was a yellow letter of some kind, a postcard or whatever, direct mail. And you start noticing that some of your hottest leads come from bandit signs. Well, then you know that that's working. That's cool. And if you notice that, say, it's yellow letters that are working and no bandit signs, well, then okay, great. Maybe that's working. I doubt it, but maybe that's the case, right? But either way, you'll know what's working, you'll know what's not working, and what's more important than that is you'll start to develop balance in your business. Instead of being subject to this feast and famine, this high, this low, you're going to be able to develop balance quickly, simply, and easily. And best of all, it's not going to cost you $9,000 and 10 hours of instruction via direct video to try and figure this all out. It's simple. Then once you figure out what's working, then you can start to diversify into areas, because now you'll know, okay, this area here has always been very good for me, so I'm going to stay here. And now let's move into some over here. Let me try some of this over here a little bit, but I'm going to keep my 100% of my this working here, and then I'm just going to devote some of my resources to something else. And you'll be able to do that. But once you start doing this, you're going to be able to use your high impact prospects. I mean, who are these people that we're going to want to find, these high impact prospects? These high impact prospects are people like for sale by owners. Not every for sale by owner wants to sell their home at the most money possible. There are some for sale by owners that just simply want to sell because, they inherited the property. Maybe it was their kid that tore the place apart. Listen, I've had a couple instances where I've had customers who've put their home on the market who wanted to sell because they had their home on the market and it was trashed. Their kid tore it apart and they just want to get rid of it. Hey, listen, people do things for the craziest of reasons. So for sale by owners, certainly one. Expired listings. Certainly your centers of influence, your past clients, those are all high impact prospects for your business. Now, understand that when you're sourcing your business, you're going to have to find a way, not an excuse. Listen, you got to find a way to make this happen. It's not going to come easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it and there would be no money in it. That's just something to remember. If it was easy, everybody would do it and there'd be no money in it. So find a way, not an excuse. You see, business comes from either waiting for it, or you're buying it, or you're going to go out and you're going to find it. One way or the other, that business has got to come from somewhere. So start thinking about where you're going to do it and start working on the following leads daily. Okay? Now, if it were me, and I was going to coach you, let's say you decided to get into our one-on-one coaching, after, you went through the business coaching and all that stuff, and then you got into that. If you're going to ask me what I would coach you to do to generate business for yourself, free leads, get good, make money, after 18 years of doing this business, what would I tell you? This is exactly what I would tell you. Get ready. I would call your past clients. If you're brand new and you do not have any past clients, that's okay. If you're a realtor, let's say, and you're brand new in your company and you don't have any clients, it's perfectly acceptable. And I am a broker, okay, a former owner of a company. It's perfectly acceptable for you to go into your broker and say, you know what, I'd like to work some of the old company files. I wish I could say I was smart and I came up with this one, but it's not me. Mike Ferry taught me this one. This is a great idea. But basically what it is you work your company's old files. You go in there, you look up some of the people who've either left the business or have passed on, and they've got company, files that they have, properties that they've sold, clients that they've sold. You can look them up. You can find out who they are. Hi, my name's Carl Krenzel. I'm with, XYZ Realty. Just wanted to let you know I've been assigned your file. I'm here to help. How can I help you? Now, if they don't know anything about you, big deal. Then you haven't lost anything. But if they say, oh, cool, then great. Yeah, no, we're good. Okay, cool. Well, I'll just go ahead and I'll keep in touch with you every, 90 days or so, just to let you know what's going on with the market. If you have any questions, feel free to call me here at the office. Give them your phone number, and then they're part of your center of influence. You adopt them in your center of influence, and then you start working them that way. Your center of influence. These are people who know, like, and trust you. Or at least in one of those three capacities. They're people like your mailman, your people you give money to, your dentist, your haircut person, your, clothier, whoever does things for you or with you, your friends, family members, schoolmates, anybody you can think of in your life, who would know, like, or trust you would be in the top of that category. They would be your A clients in your center of influence, so to speak. If they just know and like you, they don't necessarily trust you because they've never really had an occasion to. It's like your mechanic, he knows you, likes you, you're a cool guy, but maybe he doesn't trust you because he's still, he's not going to let you just owe him for the money. I mean, he wants it. I don't know. Then you got people who are, they just kind of know you. Those are people like your Facebook friends or whatever. People maybe you've met at events or something like that, acquaintances. Those would be in your C category, right? So those A, B, and C in that category. So your center of influence, your past clients, those are people that I would work with. I would call with for rent by owners. I mean, when you think about it, you're mailing to absentee owners anyway. These are people who are expressing, hey, I'm an absentee owner and I have a need. Now, they may be absentee in the sense that that was their home that they lived in a few years ago, and they moved because of a job and they rented it out, and they had to rent it out because at the time the market sucked, and if they sold it then they would have lost money. But since then, they've made some payments. The payments have gone down, and now the market's gone up a little bit, and now maybe they're just a little bit out of the way. Maybe they can actually sell it to somebody like you. But you'll never know because you got to call them first. For rent by owners are a great source of untapped business because, trust me, the realtors are not calling them. I was a realtor calling. Oh, I'm still a realtor, broker, but I was calling for years and never got any kind of competition in that space. For sale by owners. Now, if you're a realtor, what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind because, quite honestly, you have an unfair advantage. If you're a realtor and a wholesaler, automatically you have some advantages that average wholesalers don't have. Okay? You have some restrictions too, of course, yes, but you do have some good advantages. One of the advantages in the for sale by owner space as a realtor, okay, is the fact that every realtor in town is calling for a listing. Okay, great. So for a wholesaler, it's very rare for an investor to call for sale by owners. It's very rare. But when they do, they typically are taught to do this 70% of this or that, and then come up with these weird numbers. And then they start having, with no sales skills, they start, giving these, these pitches, these offers over the phone, and homeowners don't want to hear it. These lowball offers, right? As an agent, you get the best of both worlds. Because you can set up an appointment where you go into there, where you say, well, listen, I'm not looking to list the home. I'm looking to buy it. I just happen to be a broker, and I can take care of all the paperwork and everything for free, and it'll be safe. See, when you start talking about words like that, then you got advantages. That's a good thing to have. Now, if you're a wholesaler, don't despair, don't get mad, don't get pitchforks and start getting mad at me because, listen, I'm going to teach you ways, obviously, with for sale by owners, so you can profit because, trust me, every realtor in town is not going to call these guys. Why? Because they're terrified of them. Listen, you're brave. You can do this. Of course, I would coach you to do some expired listings. Expired listings are hands down, next to for sale by owners, one of the best sources of business. I love them. Why? They've already been through the process. Think about it. They've already been through it. They're ready to go. Knocking on doors around properties that have been sold or just, or have gone on the market. Why? Because if other people have seen that this guy's going on the market or selling or something like that, they might be considering selling themselves. If they see that so-and-so's got their home for sale down the street at, some outlandishly low price or God knows whatever, maybe you can figure out a way to sell that to your advantage. Bandit signs, of course, they're illegal and everywhere you go, but hey, check it out. They're a great source of business. So if you choose to, as a business decision, do bandit signs, well, that's your call. Just know that you may run the risk of getting a fine. Unless, of course, you do it, somewhat safely, discreetly, or whatever, but I don't know how you do that. That's your call. So anyhow, let's move on. You have to appreciate and understand why prospecting is difficult for you at some times. Okay, it's just not a lot of fun. And you got to get down to the core. For some reason, why is it not good for you? Is it because is it difficult because, it's physically hard for you? Is it difficult because you're afraid you might actually win? For some people, they're afraid that they're going to win, it's going to do great, and they're going to make a lot of money, they're going to pay taxes, and then their wife's going to expect it more, and they're not sure if they can do it twice. And for some people, success is a fear. Other people, a fear that they may have is that they'll fail. Holy crap, if I do this and it doesn't work out, I'm going to look like an idiot. And listen, either way, you've got to grasp why this is difficult for you. And if you're one of those lucky few and it doesn't make a difference, you can do it all day long, every day, woohoo! Congratulations. I wish it were me. Listen, you want to call all your high-end prospects 8 a.m., noon, 7 p.m. till you reach them. Now, what's your high-end prospect? What does that mean? What I'm talking about here, on your low end of the prospect scale, let's say, you got your prospects. Those are people who've identified themselves saying they want to sell. Well, then on the far end of that, let's say you got the guy you don't know much about. He says he wants to sell, maybe he's a for sale by owner, but you don't know much about him. Then at the other extreme other end, you got leads. Guys who's ready to sign a contract today, right? He's going to make a decision in like 10 minutes. That's the other end, right? A lead we've always defined as somebody who's going to make a decision in 7 days. Prospects are somebody who's going to do, saying, yeah, I want to sell my home anywhere up to 7 days. Right? So when you start seeing somebody getting to that point where they're just about to tip over to become a lead, when they're starting to really ask a lot of questions, when they're starting to call you up a couple times, or whatever it is, when you start seeing them do that, you want to call them up at 8 a.m., noon, 7 o'clock every day till you reach them. Why? Because when they make a decision, man, they are fair game. They are fair game, and there is nothing in this world worse, absolutely worse, than going in there and doing what you can to get a deal done, only to find out later you got squashed because some guy just lucked into it 10 minutes after you talked to them. Ugh, that's terrible. You want to make multiple attempts to reach them, okay? You want to focus on the names and the phone numbers of the people that you do have. Check it out. You're prospecting expired listings, I know. They tend to wipe those numbers free. Okay, but listen, you want to focus on the names and the numbers that you do have. Focus on them like a hound dog. Try and get that business. Why? Because 7% of what you say, the words you say is what's going to be effective. It's 93% of how you say it. You see, the unique thing about the Red Pill sales system scripts, okay, not only are they designed specifically for wholesaling, okay, not only are they free, but they're just common sense. I mean, good gracious. It's 7% of what those words are. You could screw them up most of the time and just get 93% of the intent right. And you'd be a lot farther along than where you might be today. So, how do you get good at that? I mean, how do you get good at this? If you're going to be prospecting, how do you get good at doing it? Well, you got to practice. You got to practice your role plays. Practicing your role plays is just getting it, to where you're second nature. Okay? All right. So, part 2. Let's talk about prospecting. Now, in prospecting, top investors, all the top investors in the one-on-one coaching, the executive one-on-one coaching that I've coached over the years, the agents that I've coached over the years, all the people that I've ever known in coaching in any capacity have a very strong mindset. I mean, they are strong. Okay? Many times you might consider them stubborn. Sometimes you might consider them, a little bit hard-nosed, but these people have desires and they are unstoppable. Okay? So when you're prospecting, adopt an unstoppable mindset. You have to offset these negative things. Just got to do it. It's hard. Because trust me, it's hard to, be focusing on the positive when everything around you is going to crap. How do you do that? Well, are you using 10-minute skill? I mean, 10-minute skill is designed specifically for you. It's designed for people just like you. People who are investors, who got into this, wholesaling gig in one way or the other, but you don't have a lot of skills. You don't know exactly what to say. Sure, you know how to make a yellow letter and post a bandit sign, and maybe you can, figure out some quick comps or go to, some website and look at something and add words or whatever, pay-per-click. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, how to get a deal done, how to write the contract, how to negotiate, how to close, what to say, how to talk to the agents, how to talk to the escrow, how to talk to, good Lord, there's so many resources that are absolutely free for you at 10minuteskill.com. That's my blog there. Now, that blog is designed specifically for wholesalers and people in general who are interested in the topic. Now, houseflippingagent.com is specifically designed with that same intent. It's a sister site for agents, and we talk about agent stuff on there. Okay? So, on 10-Minute Skill, obviously, the podcast, it's all designed to break up into the specific categories, as you know, objection handling, mindset, script practice, role play, all these different categories. So if you need something in specific, all you have to do, go to the website, click the category of the question you have, put in there. There's a 10-minute skill probably somewhere in there. I know I put a lot of them out, one a day, every day. There's 300 and something out. It's incredible. But listen, you get what you go in there. You just take the teacup, stick it in the water, get what you can, take what you need, and move on. Listen, have a positive mindset when you're trying to do this. Okay, it's going to work. It is going to work for you. How do you get this accountability with yourself? Let's say that you're in a position where you can't afford coaching. That's cool. This is a no pressure thing. Here's what you do. And I'm not even trying to sell coaching. Wow, look at that. The salesman in me coming out. Anyway, listen, start a 90-day calendar. This is so powerful. This works like gangbusters for you. Right? I love this technique. So what you do is you get one of those at-a-glance calendars. You can either get a 90-day one or like a 120-day or the year-long or whatever it is, but those at-a-glance ones that are roll out, right? And you put it on the wall. Okay, now you pick out the day. Now today is June the 4th or whatever, okay? And let's say that you prospected today. Okay? I played this game for years. It's a great game. So what you do is you say, okay, I prospected today. So today is Wednesday, right? So we go down 1. You write down 1 on Wednesday, right? So then you come into work tomorrow, you're working, you prospect. Whew, tough day. You write in there 2. You made the prospecting goal, right? So then, Friday comes along. You say, all right, you get in there, you got a goal to, say, reach 10 people that day, right? You prospect, you reach your 10. Yes, all right, you mark in 3. You take the weekend off. You worked hard, right? Sure, no problem. So no problem. Monday comes along. You come in, you start to work. All right, cool. You get in your prospecting groove. You start prospecting. You make your goal. Boom, 4. right? Tuesday comes along, then the escrow officer calls. First thing in the morning, hey, we got a problem. Oh my God, we need you to jump in here right away. And you go solve the problem, but you forget to prospect. Well, you get to put a big fat 0 on that day, my friend, because tomorrow, the next day, that Wednesday, you gotta start at 1. Oh, the game is to see how many days you can consecutively prospect. Because let me tell you, when you get that kind of accountability, when you get to be about day 117 on the calendar and the escrow officer calls you up again, you're thinking twice, because if you're going to have any kind of integrity, you're not going to go in there and fudge the numbers and be like Enron. Now, the hardest call of the day is usually the first one. Okay, it's usually the way it works out. So if that's the case, you want to call your past clients and your center of influence first daily. Makes perfect sense, right? Call up a couple of those folks, get warmed up, get your throat ready, warmed up, tuned in, dialed on, right? Because if you screw up, it's no big deal. I mean, they're not going to yell at you, and they might laugh at you. Oh, what the heck's wrong with you? You sound terrible today. Whatever it is, but they'll be honest with you. Okay? You can alternate the warm calls in between the FSBOs and the expireds, and then you call your center of influence one, and you call for sale by owner, then you call a past client. You can mix them all up. Why? Because sometimes people are not nice. Sometimes they're just not nice. And you want to maintain the right state of mind when you're in this game prospecting with some integrity, trying to set an appointment. You've got to move quick, right? So you always want to have your past client center of influence list handy. You always want to have those people handy to you, real close, because when you start seeing things going south in a conversation, and you need to hang up and take a mindset break, you can call that guy on your list and just say, hey, how's it going? Just wanted to follow up with you, see how things are going. It's a business call. Get in that right mind. Remember why you're in this, because sometimes it's not easy. Remember, the 80-20 principle applies here too. Listen, 80% of your business is going to come from 20% of your database. Now, I know that's something that regular real estate gurus or whatever do not teach you. However, this is standard operating procedure for every real estate professional there is. All the way from CCIMs in the commercial world to CRSs that can't remember squats in in residentials, right? It's the centers of influence send referrals if you ask. Okay, those are the people in your center of influence there. If those are the A group, if you ask them, they'll send you business. They go in the A group. That's who that is. They know you, they like you, they trust you. If they knew somebody and you asked them, yeah, they'll send somebody on, right? Then you got B. The persons that you got to kind of contact and wait. You contact, you never really know if something's going to come out of those. Those are B. Those are the people who know and like you. Okay? They want to help, but they maybe need a little training. Okay? So you got to know where your business is coming from. So, don't be afraid to practice your scripts on the people you're talking to. Let's pretend, that you live out in Tuscaloosa, Alabama someplace, and you don't have anybody to practice with. You're not all that great with the intranets, and you somehow managed to luck into this, right? And you want to flip houses. Well, check it out. You can, don't be afraid to practice on the people you're talking to. They don't even know that you're practicing. Now, the downside is they're not that great at their scripts because they didn't get their copy. So don't hold them to it, right? Next, make the call. Just make it. Listen, you won't get any good until you do. Okay? It's just the sad truth. You won't get any good at this until you actually do. You want to keep a journal of all the positive as well as the negative things that happen. If you come up with an objection that you don't know the answer to, a question that somebody has or whatever, write it down so you don't have to think about it, and then get to your coach or your Facebook group. If you Facebook us up over here at the 10-minute skill, we'll be happy to talk with you about it. Master the art of different methods of prospecting. I mean, it's not just, yellow letters and bandit signs and YouTubes and ad clicks, and it's not all that. You want to pick up the phone and master multiple sources: for sale by owners, for rent by owners, expireds, canceled listings. All these people are all different sources of business. And one thing is certain: no matter what happens with the telephone 5 years from today, at some point you're still going to need to learn how to master the skills to talk with somebody. And so this is a prime time to do that. You want to go ahead and make sure you keep that all together. Next, you want to start and finish at the same time every single day. If you're coming in at, say, 6 in the morning and you're leaving at 5 or 7 or whatever, then maintain that routine. Okay, maintain whatever the routine you have and get it done. The reason why is because you want to make a habit for yourself. You're a prime player. Okay, the NBA trains their players every day at a certain time to do certain things a certain way all the time. Why? Because it works. You end up developing habits that then become second nature to you. What would it be like if after 120 days of consistent prospecting daily, doing it over and over and over, you're making money hand over fist on day 121? What would it feel like if you stopped? You see what I'm saying? The more you create a habit out of this, the easier it will be for you to avoid this up and down, the feast and famine, the more routine you create. So think about this. What is it? Most of the distractions that we have, in prospecting, what are they? I mean, what are the things that stop us from prospecting? What are those things? Well, typically they're self-imposed things. It's that cell phone going off, it's the beep, it's the flash, it's the buzz, the PM, the IM, the instant message, the whatever that you're trying to think about, husband, the wife, they're calling you up, you're trying to figure out what's going on. It's all these little things that distract you, right? So how you solve that? Well, you want to go ahead and clean and ready your area before prospecting. Before you sit down and get ready to do it, that's what you want to start off with thinking. Okay, what do I need to get done here? I need to take out the file that's going to distract me. This file with the house that's got the termites in it, I need to get rid of that. I got to get rid of that. That's going to distract me. I need to take my cell phone and I need to maybe turn that off and put it someplace else. Put it in airplane mode or whatever, right? You need to determine what needs changing in your environment. And I can already hear part of you already saying it. So I'll just say it, because I hear you thinking it. All right. So please don't be offended. But listen, either you're going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse. I mean, at the Red Pill and 10-Minute Skill, you know that I'm down for telling you the truth. I'm not always going to sugarcoat it for you. And that's what you can expect from me. So you have a question. Either you're going to find a way or you're going to find an excuse. I know what the answer is, and you do too. You're going to find a way. So the question is, how do you find that way? Well, the physical and mental environments that you keep, okay, are critical, absolutely critical to the results you're going to get. How you think about this and how you react in the world around you is going to determine in a large way how successful you'll be when you're prospecting. So how you do it? Well, you want to keep and maintain a perfect prospecting environment. That's not easy to do. Look at your calendar and set up a specific time to set up your perfect prospecting environment. Okay? So what I want you to do today is sit down, look at your calendar, figure out where in my life, in my place, my space, can I have this perfect prospecting environment? In what office? Where's my desk? In my house? My bedroom? Where is it? And I want you to create an environment, even if it's just a corner for you, to prospect in. Put your dream board in there. Get your goals up. Create that area. Do it today. Set a time in your schedule when you will physically sit down and make that space occur. And make it nice as you can make it for yourself. Because you're going to find the higher you feel energy-wise, the more productive you feel, the more your energy is, the more appointments you're going to set. I want you to do that today. Set that up. And then I want you to turn off your gadgets, okay? Your iPad, your mini, your iPhone, this, that, the other thing, and refrain from doing unnecessary things until you're done prospecting. In a multifaceted digital world, it is incredibly hard. It is incredibly hard not to do that. I know. To turn off the iPhone and to pay attention to what somebody's saying and take notes, but that is what is absolutely required if you're going to get better results. Next, you want to focus on the long-term payoff versus the rejection of the moment. Now, you and I both know we're all adults here. This is not going to be a lot of fun sometimes. People are nasty, people are mean. But if you approach it with the right mindset, understanding that you're a buyer, a consumer in this marketplace, you're not an agent, you're not an investor, you're an entrepreneur who is a consumer. That's what you are, an entrepreneur who is also a consumer. And you focus on the long-term payoff, the skills that you're gaining, the interpersonal connections, learning how to read people, versus the short-term rejection of the moment. That moment, you're going to forget about it. Trust me, 17, 18 years, I can't remember a thing. I don't remember any of it, but I remember a lot of the good stuff. Always keep your goals posted right in front of you. It just have to be right in front of you. Create a goal board. Create a dream board. Create something where you have visual reminders and pictures and everything. Motivate yourself. Motivate yourself to do something. Don't wait for somebody else to give you motivation. Start thinking for yourself. What is it that I can accomplish? Because in the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur. If you're listening and you've listened this long, I have a belief. I have a belief that you are an entrepreneur, which means to me that you are cut from a separate cloth. You're not like everybody else. Everybody else is happy. In fact, they ask you questions. Why do you want to go into that kind of line of work? It's so unpredictable. I could never. You're right. You could never do this because you're not cut from the same cloth that we are. What's this cloth? This cloth of entrepreneurship. It takes a special kind of person with a special kind of oomph, if you will, to make things happen. And if you want that kind of lifestyle for yourself, then you have to be responsible for the motivation of yourself. What works for you? What works for you and why? For me, to motivate myself, a lot of times what I would do is I would go ahead and I would watch things like Tony Robbins or Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret, Mike Ferry, Floyd Wickman. They were all my heroes. And many of them still alive, still are my heroes. Mike Ferry is one of my biggest heroes. I love him. But when you think about it, what works for you and why? I'm not saying you go listen to Earl Nightingale. I'm not saying go listen to Mike Ferry or anybody else, but I am saying go find out what works for you and why, and then ask yourself the following question. How big do you want to grow your business? How big? Are you happy with I'm perfectly happy with me and an assistant and me and another person. I'm happy with that. Other people want teams and millions of this or that. I don't care about all that. I don't want that kind of stuff. I've had that kind of stuff. It's too much hassle for me. I like working a couple days a week. When do you want to get there? That's what's really important. You can be there, but you have to be realistic. Next, again, Mike giving him timeless words, man. Big words from Mike Ferry. I can't let someone else's responses to my prospecting determine my future. You can't. If you're going to sit here and let every single thing that somebody says to you bug you and stop you from getting your dream, then please do yourself a favor and quit now. Save yourself the hassle. It's just too painful. But if, on the other hand, you're strong enough to withstand what somebody else will say to you and to the responses of what you're trying to accomplish, which is simply to buy a property, if you're strong enough to handle that, then let's keep going. Ask yourself, what is your attitude, your expectation about this before you make these calls? You want to create for yourself a happy mindset. I mean, you just got to be happy about it. You can't control, how long, you can't stop what happens when it goes in your head, but you can control how long it's going to be there. I mean, you can ruminate on it, you can fester on it. I can't believe that guy said that to me. I'm going to let it, But listen, does your attitude really determine how a person responds to you? You better believe it does. I mean, if I sit there and I get all frustrated because somebody yelled at me on the phone or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I hate that guy, and I start yelling at him or whatever, and then I start calling the next person, hello, you want to sell your home? I mean, they're not going to be, they're going to be feeling it, right? Next, this is so important. Keep your ego in check while you're prospecting, okay? keep your ego in check. Listen, you're not the number one dog of everything in the whole wide world. Okay, there's always somebody that's better, that's faster, that's more money, that's richer, smarter, whatever. There's always somebody better than you, right? So keep your ego in check when you're prospecting. You want to use aggressive lead follow-up. Okay? Now, when I say aggressive, I'm not saying being a jerk. I mean, think about it this way. How do you want other prospects to describe you? How do you want them to describe you to other people? You know what? That guy, he called me every damn day. He was relentless. But you know what? He made sense, and we got the deal done, and it got through. It was awesome. Or, yeah, you know what? This guy calls me up every day, and he is just a slob. He's just a schnob. He's the number one agent in this, or he's the number one wholesaler in that, or whatever. How do you want people to describe you? Listen, if you want some honest goodness truth about how to live your life, instead of showing off, fancy, boats, cars, watches, whatever the hell it is you want to show off this week, listen, how about this? How about you show your results? Don't tell us about it. That's the place you want to take your business. Show us your results. Let your results speak for themselves more than your ego. Next, when you're prospecting, always keep this thought in the front of you. How can I help this person I'm talking to right now? You got to appreciate, listen, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Zig Ziglar said it best. So you got to think to yourself, how can I help this person? If you can't help that person, then don't molest them. Don't bother them. Don't get in their life. If it's something that you're, I don't know, you don't know anything about multifamily, let's say, and you're brand new. You've never done a thing with multifamily. Maybe the best thing you can do is refer them to somebody who can help them. Stick to what you can maybe learn. Now, if you know stuff about, homes and you're not that great at it yet, that's okay. It's a little more, easier to deal with. It's a lot less complicated. So think about it. How can I help the person? Handle each call personally. That's how you do this. Now, I'm not saying individually take every single call. I'm saying it's the mindset. When you're making these outbound calls or talking, listen, handle each call personally. It's you. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? A person to person. That's how they respond. The minimum numbers of calls you need to get an appointment each day is one. That's all it needs to take. You can call one person and make an appointment if you have the right attitude, the right approach, and the right expectation. Next, are they closable? You want to think about it. The person you're talking to, you can set an appointment with anybody anytime. but are they closable? Is this something that will actually close, or is this something I'm just going to waste my time on? Make those value judgments. Slow down. Listen. You have to ask questions. You gotta be good. Think about it. Be efficient, but do not be irresponsible. So, be responsible in finding out who wants to sell now. That's the purpose of this entire seminar, webinar, open mic today, was to simply teach you how to be responsible in finding out who wants to sell now. When you're calling and when you're talking to people, ask yourself, who are you just making calls, or are you looking for your next deal? What are you specifically looking for? What is your mindset? So, in conclusion, that's our program for today. I appreciate your patience. I apologize for the open mic failure we had there in the beginning. However, what I would like to share with you is our business coaching is filling up, and I am very grateful. We had 2 new people join today. I'm very grateful for that. If you're interested in business coaching, let me just tell you very quickly about it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but business coaching is something that that I've promoted. It's a basic way to teach you the sales skills you need to learn how to close deals. The problem, as I see it, is that you have got a lot of places you can learn about. How to make a better yellow letter, how to make a bandit sign, or whatever. But very few places it'll teach you exactly what to say once you get there. Now, if you'd like some assistance in how to create a saleable, replicatable, duplicatable sales business, then I suggest you look into our business coaching. It's $200. It's a one-time fee. It's for 4 calls. It's got some other stuff that's included to it, but there's a web page on 10-minute skill. I'll include a link in here for you to check it out as well. So, hopefully you'll find that of value. Also, just to be giving you a quick heads up, please check the schedule for any upcoming classes. I know that we have an upcoming class coming up here on I believe it is the 14th. Yes, the 14th. And that one is how to build an empire through wholesaling. That one is designed specifically for realtors or wholesalers who are interested in wholesaling, or how wholesaling affects with realtors. If you're a realtor, it's a great course for you to go to, because we're going to talk about the differences that you need to be aware of so you can make sure you do it legally, ethically, and honestly, and not get into trouble with your board or your broker. Also, if you're considering joining the real estate community as a realtor, then that might be a good course to go to as well. It's $25. There's no commercials in that one. It's just $25. You may want to check the links for that as well. So anyway, thank you so much. You have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.